Hello, beautiful moms. My name is Sharice Walker, and I am beyond thrilled to welcome you to the Unbreakable Mompreneurs podcast. This is a place where we come together to learn, grow, and inspire one another. I am so excited to share my personal journey with you, as well as the personal journey of others, and to show you that anything is possible if you set your heart and mind to it. We are all Unbreakable Mompreneurs, and we are in this together. Today we are going to talk about making sure that you start your business off on the right foundation. So what I found, I was at a conference recently and I thought, oh my gosh, this is a great idea. And then I was watching one of the coaches that I've hired and he said the same thing. So I'm like, okay, obviously I need to take this to heart and we talk about it. So the three things that we're going to talk about is I'm going to say PST. So not PTSD, but PST. So the first one is principles. The second one is strategy. And the third one is tactics. So when you are setting up your business, it's crucial that you know what your principles are. And so your principles are how you are going to run your business. Those are like your ingrained values, your morals, your integrity, like what you're going to do. So I was talking with someone recently and we had been talking about a concern about somebody and how they were running their business. And the person I was talking to, it was very interesting because he said, you know what, I'm just going to stay clear of that situation because he doesn't want his business to be aligned with somebody who clearly does not care about their customers as much as he does. And so to me, that spoke volumes because obviously it's all about his principles. He wants to be known as an honest person who truly cares about his customers and takes care of them and gets the money that, gets the value out of the money that they pay for. And so to me, that really stood out. And as I was thinking, what are your principles in your business? What is important to you? And what do you feel like you need to be able to what are your non-negotiables? And so is it something that you're worth firing somebody over? And I think I've said that in a previous podcast, but it really does have to come down to that when it comes to the core values, which I've also talked about. What are the principles that you are going to abide by in your business? And so that is really the first thing that I wanted to address and talk about. The second one is going to be your strategy. So once you know what your principles are and once you know you have an idea, how you want to run your business and where you want it to go. Like really, what are your 5-year goals with your business? Do you even see your business surviving for 5 years? That's something that most businesses that start out do not get past the 2 years and very lucky if they get past 5 years. So let's talk about your 5-year goals and then let's work backwards. So you're 4 or 3, but really like 5 years, 3 year, 1 year. And then in that 1 year, it's crucial that you actually set up every single term or quarter. So we call it the 12-week year by Brian Moran that he talks about, or, just your go-to thing that you're going to make sure that you accomplish your 1 or 2 goals for the actual quarter. And then what do you want to accomplish in 6 months? And then what do you want to accomplish in a year? So you're going to reconstruct that, and make sure that you have a vision and you know what you want to be doing. So your principles are going to be what guides you. Your strategy is kind of what your plan is. How are you going to get there and what you're going to do? And what are your benchmarks? Because like I recently hired some people and in 3 months I was disappointed. They were making 120 to 150 calls a day for me and not getting any appointments set. And so obviously, my strategy is I need to buy a certain number of homes in a certain amount of time. And, we're 3 months into it. So I only have 12 months to do what I need to do. And they've, that first quarter, nothing happened. And so, that's a strategy that, okay, is it the leads they're getting? Is it how they're talking on the phone? Is it what's their approach? And so those are all things that I need to start listening and seeing and watching what they're doing. Then the third thing would be tactics. And so tactics would be, how are you going to get that done? So my tactic would be, okay, so obviously they're having a hard time. They're not making appointments. So I need to be listening to those phone calls and seeing what they're saying. Or I need to be running specific amount of leads that are clean and made sure so that they have leads that they can be calling that are fresh and new and good. And so those are the things, like, what are the tactics that you're going to do? And how are you going to get there? So my goal is, we'll just say 10 pounds, right? So why is it my principle? So it's something that I value because I want to be able to be healthy for my kids. So the principle is I want to spend more time with my kids. That's quality time, that making memories that they can do. My strategy is, okay, so if I need to lose 10 pounds, then I need to, and by this date, then I need to be losing, I need to create a meal plan. I need to create an exercise plan. I need to make sure that I'm getting sleep, that I'm drinking a gallon of water a day. So those are my strategies, and my tactics are, okay, so I'm going to drink my water in the morning. I'm going to drink my water in the afternoon, and it's a certain amount of water, and I'm going to have meal prep. So on Saturday of every week, I'm going to make sure that I have the ability to go out and buy my, meal prep it so that I have a list so I can go to the grocery store and buy everything that I need for that week. And then I just need to have it mapped out. So every single day I know when I should be eating, what I should be eating, and how I'm going to be doing that. And so that is something, like, it's a tactic. It's very, very specific, and it's, your means to an end, your goal of, getting you from point A to point B. So like, I get in my car and I drive. That's, that's your tactic. And so the thing that I was listening to with this particular individual was that I was very impressed when he talked about how he sets up his principles, his strategies, his tactics. And he gets a business running to about 50 to 60% using this model. And then he pawns it off on somebody so that they can start running it. And he goes and sets up a new business based upon his principles, his strategies, his tactics. And so I thought, oh my gosh, because a lot of times we kind of are spinning our wheels because we don't know what our long-term goals are. We don't know what we want to accomplish. And even if we do know, we don't really have a strategy. And so it never happens because we don't have a strategy, and we definitely don't implement any tactics. So I was thinking that you have to be perfect at everything and make sure that you get it all up and running and doing well, so that when you hire somebody, the business is already running full swing and there's no questions or concerns. But no, he starts at 50, 60%, pushes it on to somebody else, and then he can move on to the next thing he wants to do. And so a lot of times, we get stuck in our rut and we don't know how to progress. And so that's something else is, one of your tactics is that you need to hire. There's so many people that are solopreneurs that they're afraid to hire because they're afraid. And, I'm one of those that you are fearful because nobody's ever going to be as passionate as you. Nobody's ever going to be doing this or that, which is false. If you hire people and you're very strategic in how you hire and what you do, then you can train them. I've heard time and time again, and it's very true as well, that you train for attitude, not for skill. Because you can train skill, you can't train attitude. And so you want somebody that's hungry, somebody that's passionate, and it's going to bend over backwards. When I was running my college, there was a time we were trying to get accreditation. So I had opened up this college in the Valley. And I came in at 8 o'clock in the morning on one day. I didn't leave until I think it was 3 o'clock the next day. I was there all through the night until the next day. And so I didn't sleep. All I did was worked on this accreditation report. And so, it's not my company. I didn't have to do that. It's not like I don't get paid any more than I would have been paid had I left that night. But I was passionate about it, and because my name was attached to the school and making sure that it got accredited, I did everything in my power to make sure that I did what I needed to. And that's the same thing as there's people out there that are dedicated, that will do everything and anything that they can to make sure that the company is successful, and they take pride in their work. And so you just have to build that culture of making sure that you find people who take pride in their work. Because that's, I think, the biggest thing is that they don't, then you're going to struggle. If you don't really care about people, or you don't really care about the company, and you're just there for the job and to collect a paycheck, those are the type of people you want to avoid. And so hiring the right person, I've heard, and we did this actually, where you have 3 to 4 steps in an interview process. Obviously the first one is you're going to make sure that you look at them on paper and that they meet the qualifications. And then the next one is you bring them in and you throw out different scenarios at them and see how they handle that. There's a mentor that I have right now, his Brandon Dawson, obviously, that they are very strategic. They talk about their core values, and they have somebody give a presentation on one of the 6 core values, and it cannot be pre-recorded because they want to be able to see what the person, how they respond, how they react. Just they can't put on a facade, basically, and press pause and then fix something and then do something else. And so, then there's the team interview, and then there's the expert interview, where the team is, you get like all your directors together in a room and they interview the person and see what they think. Or you have a peer interview the person so that they also, if they're going to be working side by side and a colleague, you have to see how they're going to interact with each other. And they might, like, for example, when I was the dean, I knew kind of, because I was working side by side with another person that was going to be put in the position, what their job entailed and how it interacted with mine. So I was able to ask questions that possibly the director at the time didn't know, because they hadn't been in my shoes and they hadn't been working with the person in that capacity. So there are some people that I said, yeah, I recommend, and there's some people that I said, no, they wouldn't be a good fit. And so the more people that you can get involved, the better, because that way you can get a well-rounded perspective and view. And some people might let their guard down with some because they click a little better. And so it's really great if you can find somebody that they click with, because they will open up and a true different self comes out. And so just making sure that your hiring is good and that they know what your principles are and your tactics, really, and how to implement the goals that you've set, and that they're attainable. That's something else, that's making sure that they're definitely attainable, because there's some companies where it's like, okay, there's no way that we can do this. Like beyond I call it locus of control. Anything that I cannot control myself is outside my locus of control. If I can control it, then I'm responsible for it. But other things that you can't control, it's not really realistic to set up a compensation plan when you really can't do anything about it. But overall, absolutely. Like if everyone's working together to make sure that it all happens, then yes, there should be some accountability with that. So that is some of my advice on making sure that when you're setting up your business, that you have your 5-year plan, and then your 3-year plan, your 1 year, and then break down your 1 year into 4 quarters. And using the principles that your company abides by, what's important to them, which also incorporates your core values. And then your strategy, how are you going to accomplish it? What's your plan? If I want to have 100 deals in a year, real estate deals, then I need to be breaking it up by, how much each month. And then from there, how am I going to accomplish it? And how many phone calls, how many notes, how many visits, how many leads do I need to be able to, and phone calls do I need to be able to do in order to accomplish the goals for the month? And so I hope that that's helpful for you when you're starting out your business. What are your 3 to 5 year goals? And what are the 2 tactics? Just write it down. 2 tactics you think you need, or 2 strategies you think you need. And what is like one takeaway that you feel like you need to change so that you can put your company on the right path? I look forward to your comments. Please make sure that you comment below and reach out if you are interested in being a guest on my podcast. I'm now looking for some people that can talk to us about their business and how they juggle business and family, as well as anything to help grow their business. So I look forward to talking with you in the next episode. Go out and make an amazing impact on the world. Remember, my beautiful moms, you are unbreakable. Keep shining, pursuing your dreams, and embracing the magic of motherhood. This is Sharice Walker signing off from the Unbreakable Mompreneurs podcast. Have a great day.